New York and on the new Hot 97 app. Ebro in the morning on Hot 97.
Ebro in the morning, Laura Styles, Rosenberg, and Pras, Michelle. What's going on?
What up?
Sock passe, brother.
Sock passe, you know what it is.
Yes, man. Listen, I haven't seen you in a few years since we was over with Jerry Wonder, and you guys were working on a documentary on, I think it's the last Haitian president, Sweet Mickey, right?
Right.
Sweet Mickey was a musician who became president of Haiti. You did a documentary on the whole.
Right. So he was like the Donald Trump before Donald Trump.
Was he beloved by Haiti?
He was, he was in the beginning.
And then the end was bad.
Well, I mean, things just didn't go out the way they wanted it to go, you know? Because when I say Donald Trump, I don't mean he had all the negative divisiveness. It was more about the populist running candidate who becomes a president.
Right.
That's what I meant when I said.
Oh, because he was a celebrity who became a president.
Right. So you call that a populist.
Right. Got it.
As opposed to being a politician.
Exactly.
Got it. And so are you still heavily involved in the filmmaking business?
Yeah, I'm
documentaries?
I'm still, doing some of that stuff, yeah. But I got my focus on other things, too.
And what's the other thing now?
You know, man, a bunch of things, man. I'm actually launching a digital platform, but that's to come.
What's it going to be called?
Well, I don't know if I want to give too much information right now. All I can say is it's for the culture. You know what I mean?
Everybody does it for the culture, but are
everyone
they really
does,
doing it
hold
for
on.
the culture?
Everyone does not do it for the culture.
Exactly.
Everyone
is
exploiting the culture.
Okay, here we go.
There's a big difference. And we're not even talking about them exploiting the culture. We're talking about we got enemies within us.
Here we go. I
Call them out right now.
I knew I could get you there. Come on,
man. It's too early in the morning for this, man. No, because it's very sensitive for me, man, because it's like you got people really trying to take advantage of the culture, man, and they haven't really done anything, and they're not doing anything for the culture, and they claim it's for the culture.
People love that phrase. There's no phrase I hate more than for the culture. It's the most misused phrase ever in history.
But
I almost don't want to even allow myself to hate it because I do want it to not become something that is untrue.
But you know what?
I want to believe in it.
But you know what? You can tell by the results of who's genuine and authentic about it, right? Mm-hmm. Based on what they're doing. If your whole life been about partying and taking advantage of people, and all of a sudden you got this 180-degree turn and you want to do for the culture, that's BS. You got to look at the person pedigree, and that's how it's going to dictate to me if this person real or not. I know it's a cool phrase, culture, just like blockchain is a cool phrase right now. People just hurling it all around the place, but
yeah, it's like it would be nice to know when people talk about what role they play in the culture, what is their pedigree? What things related specifically just to contributing to culture do you do? Right. Conversations around it, music, art creation.
Yeah, what have you done?
Empowering other. What is it? What did you do? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People just throw the term around, and a lot of times when they say for the culture, it actually means for the dollar and not for the culture.
That's the point I'm making. So when I say for the culture, I'm very dead serious about the culture. Like I'm creating a digital platform, and at the end of the day, it's not that many black people in the tech space. And us as black people don't understand technology is the last industrial revolution. And we know we're in that pocket, right? And if you look at just artists in general, right, me, coming from hip hop, we are the only people that create our own IP and don't own it. It's the most fascinating thing I ever seen in my whole entire life.
And IP is intellectual
property. Mark Zuckerberg owned his property. Jeff Bezos owned his property. Disney owned their property. But we create our music, but we don't own our property. Somebody else owns our property.
And that's because you've signed it away through a deal or through something.
Yeah, but not just that. It's because the way the system was set up in the very beginning. And it's not... you can't, like, there's certain things, if you go create a phone, for example, right? Let's say I want to come out with a device, that's what I'm doing, but I want to come out with a device, right? Apple have certain patents that won't allow me to do certain things.
They just sued Samsung because Samsung used a certain look and a certain design element, et cetera, et cetera.
So the government protect their IP through what is called a patent. But we as artists, our IP does not get protected. So somebody could come here and be like, I'm going to own your music for 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, and keep making money off of it. You get nothing out of it. You know, so when I say for the culture, it's not just about talking about it. It's trying to lead by example, trying to break barriers. It's trying to get people to understand, especially like these young artists right here, to understand like, yo, there's a different way to go about doing it. You know what I'm saying to you? So yeah, so you just kind of like.
No, I'm trying to get you there because, you know, you were always the chill dude, right? So when we listen to you on record, you were always the dude. You came in, swagged it out, you know, popped a little shit, right? But you was always, I don't want to say playing the background, but just playing your part in the greater Fugees collective, right?
Right.
But behind the scenes, you know, people would always, you know, what they call you dirty money, and they use the street dude, and you was the dude that was really, you know, getting it in out here as far as not with the music, doing other things, business things.
Right.
And that's kind of always, and I don't know if everybody knows your story in that way.
Well, my story's not out there for everyone to know, but yeah, I've always been behind the scene, you know, doing businesses, because at the end of the day, once again, I always believe that when they promised us 40 acres and a mill, we didn't get that. So the next thing that God gave us was hip hop, right? That's my 40 acres and a mill.
And music in general.
Music in general. That, I mean, when you think about it, right?
Culture, honestly, yeah.
Right, the
All
culture.
forms of it.
Right. You see what I'm saying to you? So it would behoove me not to try and take advantage of that situation and trying to propel myself to the next level, because nothing is finite, right? So you're not going to be on top of your game forever. You can sustain, you can do what they call that kind of like curve up and down, but then you got to kind of like diversify your portfolio. I always thought of it like that. You know, especially
Even in the Fugees days.
Well, I knew I was on the Titanic when I was in the Fugees.
Tell me what you mean.
Like I knew it was going to come to an end.
Got it. Because you saw the beginning. So you knew how unstable it was.
Yo, you know, on the Titanic, there's a black man who survived it, right? When he walked in there, he knew, because when they first built the Titanic, they said nothing can destroy it, right? It's supposed to be indestructible, right? It got hit by an iceberg. People died on it, right?
Wow, I've never heard someone approach it this way.
I know. So when when I formed a group, I knew it was volatile. You know what I mean? Like so I was always planning ahead. I was always a couple steps ahead, knowing that this thing's not really gonna last.
And you weren't a musician, but they wanted you to rhyme in the group. How did that happen? How did you become a part of the Fugees?
I didn't become a part of Fugees. I put the group together.
No, that'll do it.
And it was your idea.
It was my brainchild.
And so, what is your relationship to Wyclef and Lauryn?
So there was a girl, when I first started the group, there was a girl who introduced me to Lauryn. So it was the three of us, me, Lauryn Hill, and this girl who introduced me to Lauryn when she was like 11 or 12 years old. So she wasn't even in high school yet. She was in the 8th grade when I met her. Wyclef, I grew up with Wyclef. He had a Haitian church. His father was a preacher. I grew up in the church, and I was in the choir. He was in a band, and, you know, churches, the Haitian church used to go all around the tri-state area and kind of like just compete or just sing in the name of God, whatever.
Well,
right?
music, revivals, and, you know, choir competitions.
Yeah, so I met Clef, and we became real cool. We became like brothers. But he already had another situation. And then years later, he came into the Fugees, and then the girl who introduced me to Lauryn dropped out. That's how it became the three of us.
Got it.
Yeah.
And why did you want to put a group together? Just because of your love of music, or was you
Yeah,
saw
I mean,
something else happening and you knew it was a way to make money? Like, what was your motivation?
Nah, man, come on, bro. I don't know that back then. You know, it was the love of hip hop. I mean, Ebro, I hear a lot of people use that term. Once again, I'm one of those people, like, words mean something to me, right? People now just redefine words, right? Like, reality used to mean something real. But now when you look at reality TV, it's not real, it's scripted. So why are you calling reality TV when it's not really real, right? So when you say hip hop to me, I'm from when they only played it once or twice a week at night when you were allowed to listen to it.
They made the non-rap versions of songs.
Right. So I'm from that era where, like, you could look at someone based on how they dress, you know who they are. Somebody who wearing Timbs, you know that's a thug. You ain't going nowhere near that person. It was real, right? Things done changed, it's for the better, whatever. But the point I'm saying to you, at that time, it was the love for hip-hop. It was just love for the culture, love for breakdancing, graffiti, you know, just that whole thing. Like I said to you, it was a way to escape also, to give ourselves a voice. That was the whole purpose of hip-hop. Because before, radio station were playing that R&B. If you weren't Billy Ocean,
Yep.
Sade,
Tina
Michael
Marie.
Jackson, you're
Freddie
not
Jackson.
Freddie Jackson, you know,
Janet
Luther
Jackson,
Vandross, Lionel Richie, and the Commodores, you're not getting played on the radio.
Yeah, or and also a lot of people don't. You know, Frankie Crocker was not a supporter of hip hop.
Right, right. So, you know, we don't have to go back into the whole origin of hip hop, but I'm just saying, so it was for the love of that I got into hip hop.
Did you ever get any? Because one thing I remember when I first heard the Fugees, I loved the way you guys rep for Haiti, right? And I felt like it's like, you know, coming from an immigrant background and all my friends who were immigrants, we thought it was super dope. For a long time, you know, when you grow up in the States and a lot of people shy away from, you know what I mean, their customs just because they're trying to fit in. Right. And I remember the Fugees were so dope because I remember, you guys had a damn goat on stage at one point, you know what I mean, waving flags, and it was so ill to me that you guys rep where you were from.
Right.
But was that always the plan when you guys came to it? We're like,
yeah, I mean, you know, I grew up, you know, I was born in Brooklyn, grew up in Jersey, and I came in an era where if you were Haitian, like some Haitian couldn't go to school at a certain time.
Right.
You had a lot of other Haitians that was fronting, acting like they from Paris or they from Montreal, you know, that BS, you know. I was always repping Haiti from day one. Back when I used to wear my Quarterville Goose, Shelter Adidas. But see, I didn't get the same flack as everyone because I was born in the States. So they didn't look at me like, oh, he came off the boat. Uh-huh. But I still spoke the languages. When I went home, my mom would still cook the sauce pois. My mom would still talk that French nonsense, and like she wasn't into the whole English American thing. So I had both cultures
all the time,
all day. So you know, so I was like, and then Clef, obviously, when we got in the group, he was back then, you know, he was winning a lot of shows and competition back then, and so he was very revered in Reppin Haiti. So we both connected on that sense. And we were like, yo, if we ever gonna put this thing together and travel the world, we're gonna always rep Haiti no matter what. Like we just wanted to do that. And we did. And to your, because I come from a household of immigrants. Like half of my family were born in Venezuela, my other half are Haitians, you know, other half is in Bahamas, you know, so it was just that immigrant vibe, you know. So we felt like we was representing everyone. That's why we call ourselves Fugees, which is short for refugees.
That's cool because had the title just been Haitian related, it would have been in some ways not as inclusive as Fugees.
Right.
Which is non-specific. Mm-hmm. But everyone knew you guys were Haitian.
Right.
But Fugees more inclusive.
Right. We were just repping the whole Caribbean, man. Cubans. Remember the whole influx of Cubans in the early 80s, you know, so every immigrant could go through the era. The Irish, you know, the Italians, you know what I mean?
On Haiti, before we start talking about your New Wave Culture EP, and you brought briefly up your I guess you have a cell phone that's coming out with its whole, like, what's that called?
Blackcher, M1 phone.
Yeah, it's an M1 phone.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that, but specific to Haiti and where it is today in the geopolitical and what's happening with the economy, I don't know if everyone understands the, I guess, economic embargo that's been on Haiti ever since they kicked the French's ass. Mm-hmm. And the fact that, you know, the Haitians paid the French money and still the French turn and put an economic embargo on the country that inflicts it to this day. And then you have corrupt politicians and people taking money and all these other issues. Where are things at today with Haitian politics and just the overall economy and the progress of Haiti?
It's bad. It's just all the way bad. And so, you know, you can't, I'm one of those people who believe you can't always blame the man. Mm-hmm. At some point, it's in anything, whether it's in a relationship or whatever it is, at some point, you got to take a stand and say, okay, enough is enough. And it's so easy. Same thing for, you know, black people here. It's so easy to point to the man, you know, the man. No doubt, we know the system is flawed. We know the system is against us. What else is new? Right? But then there's things you can do to try to basically fight that. Like, for example, we don't have unity amongst ourselves. Let's keep it real, right? We'll see one person, you know, succeeding, and we'll hate on that, right? You don't see them rock and roll dudes. You don't see, you see a politician, they're just basically pandering to us, right? They're all the same, right? When you think about it, whether it's Democrats or Republicans, it's all the same thing. They just have a different way of going about their agendas, but the agenda's still the same.
Some are more evil than others.
Let me ask you something. If you know that I don't like you because of your whatever ethnicity, right? And I straight up say in your face, or I don't like you, but I never say it to you, what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between the Southerners back after slavery and the Northerners? The Northerners just knew how to be nice about it. The Southerners would just call you the N-word in your face and don't care. It's the same thing.
But ultimately, there was a difference between we believe the economy should be based on slaves and people who didn't think it was right. And not to say that that's why.
I don't know if they didn't think it was right. I think it was more economics,
or it didn't
right?
make sense.
was
But
economic.
still, but the result is different.
The
right?
Northerners felt like you cannot build a country having them slaves on the field. Somebody got to pave the pavement. Somebody got to build the highways. We're not going to build it, so we need those dudes on the field to become somewhat free and put them to work at a minimum wage. That was the whole concept. So there's no real big difference.
But my point is, you're right. I totally, from a moral standpoint, I agree with you. But to Ebro's point, the result is still different. Meaning you're still better off.
For instance, let's bring it to modern day, right? Where we know that the Clintons did terrible things in taking advantage of Haiti, specifically the Clinton Foundation.
we don't even have to go to Haiti because I don't think some people care about Haiti. Let's talk about
here.
Let's talk about
how
the
Democrats,
criminal justice system.
Let's talk specifically about New York State. Let's take it even local.
Okay.
This is a Democratic state,
Right.
So they say.
Right.
The current governor, right, is backed by major corporations, the same way a Republican would be.
Right.
Being able to vote is the most difficult process in New York State. It's the most difficult state in the union
figure out how to vote?
to figure out how to vote. They say it's the hardest.
Right.
But if it's Democratic, why is it so hard? If they truly are about trying to help people participate, get involved, uplift the community, embrace new voting, impoverish voters, if they truly believe it, why is it made so hard?
I don't believe that they do believe it.
But that's my point. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
But-
agreeing with you.
But Ebro, to your point that you made earlier, and to disagree with what you said earlier about Pras, everyone being the same, we have an election right now. Cuomo is a standard issue politician backed by corporate money. Cynthia Nixon, whether you want to vote for her or not, she's not even running ads. She doesn't even have money to run the ads. She's on her own. She's been in the community for 20 years. I'm not saying she's a saint, but she is not from the same cloth. They may be the same skin color. They may both be politicians, but I really do think that there is a moral difference in terms of what they hope to accomplish.
Well, and I also believe this, and this is where I challenge and I say some are more evil than others. I do believe ultimately there is a corrupt air with regard to the system of government in America.
True.
I believe that we can have people who are going to try to attempt to be progressive. They call themselves progressive and their ideas sound good. Whether or not they can actually get them done, which I challenge Cynthia Nixon on, whether or not you can actually physically get it done.
She don't want that smoke.
But I'm going to vote for you because you're saying you want to get it done.
Let me say something to you. As long as you have special interest group, you're never going to be able to have a clean politician, period. Because they're backed up, once again, by the special. For people who don't know
But that doesn't mean all politicians are the same. That means the system is corrupt.
Let me say this to you. I'm going to put it to you in a different way. You can have good intentions. Like, for example, like I knew Obama before he became president, right? And I still think he's a great man morally. Like, if you pound for pound, he's an incredible dude.
As a human.
As a human. He should not be a politician. He's not built for that. Because then what happens is you start thinking you have these ideas. And it's kind of like the sheep going into the wolf's den, right? And he couldn't do what he wanted to do because he wasn't built for that, like that kind of game on that high level. You know, they flying 40,000 feet. He just got off the runway and he's about 15,000 feet.
And they beat him up pretty good. He tried
They
to get
beat him up. And so it makes his... And
But he
what
still
happened?
got the medical shit done.
Hold
He
on,
still got some shit
no,
done.
he didn't. Listen. They botched his whole legacy, my dude. That Obamacare, rap, done. They killed it. It means nothing
They
right now.
Didn't they change the name? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's done. It don't matter. So I'm saying his legacy is going to come back to he just was the first black man to become president. That's really what his legacy going to fall back to. Don't get me wrong. He's done a lot of great things.
And that was an important thing for kids to see and have. in
No,
this
it
country,
definitely was, but
I
you-
hear you though.
but-
From
but-
accomplishing things standpoint, not built to do what these evil bastards were doing. Right. I hear what you're
See what
saying.
I'm saying to you?
So what you're saying is just fold up to the fact that it's corrupt.
That's not what I'm saying to you. I'm saying to you is people got to understand what's happening. If you look at this political climate right now, think about this, right? I knew Trump was going to be president the minute he threw his hat in the ring. Matter of fact, I won a $10,000 bet with my man. He thought I was out of my mind. I even told Obama, this dude, I ain't telling him he was going to win at that time because I was in the Oval Office. I said, I think he's going to win the nomination because I didn't want to piss him off, right? But in my heart, I knew he was going to win. Why? Because at the end of the day, people were not too happy with his administration, how he governed. We are revered by him. We are enamored by him. We have an affinity for him because he's innately a good person. You talk to most black people quietly in their heart, they be like, okay, right. They're not going to machine gun him, but it's going to be like, you know what I'm saying? Because
he wasn't a black president. He was a president who happened to be black.
And it ain't about being a black president.
No, but that's why I said he didn't do anything specifically to make anyone's life better.
As far as black people's
other than
concerned.
The tone. As far as black people's concerned.
Right, exactly.
But the tone of it, and which is what I tell people right now, you're saying it don't matter who's the leadership, who's the face, whatever, the end result's going to be the same. I don't necessarily disagree.
You might have a couple, one thing I can say Obama brought, he brought hope. He brought
the tone.
The vibe. Yeah, he definitely brought that. But you look at your man right now, yo, he's bulldozing his way into this whole thing. Doesn't care. And I'm not saying that's the way you should govern, but look what they doing, right? And so now a lot of people start thinking like, we're not saying that's what he should have done, but there's certain instances where you felt like he could probably stepped it up a little bit more, right?
Rosenberg was one of the people who was like, yo, I wish he would be tougher at the time.
Right,
Obama.
right. Especially the fact that
But I also get why it was difficult for him to do that, but I say this about all Democrats. The Republicans are willing to do whatever it takes. We are not.
And I guess Democrats they just talk to us, and that's why, unfortunately,
Democrats be trying to follow the rules,
and everyone's cheating.
And there's Democrats who are full of shit.
Man,
so it's complicated.
It's complicated.
But with regard to Haiti and the island, equally, there's some corruption and people who aren't in it for the culture in a real way.
Right. And it's sad, man, but it's not going to ever. I don't believe it's ever going to change. But anyway, so. That's what it is.
And do you vote?
For who?
In general.
America or Haiti?
I don't know. Do you vote?
Oh, you're talking about...
Do you vote in Haiti? Do you vote in America?
No, I can't vote in Haiti.
Okay, but you do vote here.
Huh? Here in the States? I
Yes.
voted before, yeah.
But you're not an active participant in the voting process.
Listen, that's not good for me to say. You know, I try to get out to the... okay, so... Like that one year when I sent in my ballot, right?
Yes.
Because I'm a Florida resident.
Yes.
And they didn't count my vote. Because that's when your man Bush won.
Oh, with that was 2000.
Yeah, 2000.
When they took it from Gore.
They took it from Gore. 2004, I already know where that was going to go. Feel me? 2008, I voted. 2012, I voted. 2016, I kind of like knew where that was going. But one would make the argument not voting is like giving the other person a vote. So I kind of like, messed up on that one right there.
So you do vote?
Yeah, at times.
He has voted.
I have voted.
Have you decided if you're going to participate this time, the next election?
The next election, I got to see what the playing field's looking like. I got to see what the playing field. After midterms, is when you're going to start to see the candidates, Yeah. We're going to see what happens.
And I always vote.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I always vote.
Okay.
I vote local. I vote.
So you're going to vote in the midterms?
Yeah, I'm voting. Yeah.
And then is there a governor?
No. Governor is Thursday. I'm a registered independent, so I don't get to vote in primaries, but I can vote in
general
midterm elections. Yeah, I can vote in general.
Okay, so the governor is this year?
It's right now, Thursday. Cuomo versus Nixon.
Tomorrow, Thursday?
Yes.
Cuomo versus who?
Cynthia Nixon.
Who's that?
See?
That
It's a primary. It's a primary.
That ain't sound mad familiar though.
Cynthia Nixon, she's an actress. She's famous for being in Sex and the City.
Oh, I love Sarah Jessica Parker.
Well, yeah,
No,
but
it's not her, though. It's
Oh,
Miranda.
it's not her? Oh, my bad.
It's the one who played Miranda, the one with the short hair.
Oh, yeah. She cool. She going against Cuomo?
Yes.
Come on, man. That's too big for her.
You think it's too much? I told her she was here, man, and I love her ideas. I love what she's saying, right? I just don't think that she can get the things she's saying done. But that's not going to stop me from voting. But I don't get to vote. I don't get to vote in primary.
So you see, this is why that's not fair because
exactly
they actually essentially picking your candidate for you.
Yes.
And giving you, okay, this is who's gonna represent the Democrat and
Yes.
this is who's gonna represent the Republican. You know, who's the Republican?
I think are they even running?
So basically, whoever wins the primary. So whoever wins the Democratic primary is essentially going to be the next governor.
Well, New York State usually votes Democratic anyway.
That's sometimes true because mayors are usually Republicans too.
No, we've had Pataki was
Pataki
a
was
Republican,
Republican,
governor.
right? That's years ago.
But yeah, that's years ago.
Right.
And Mike Bloomberg was
He was a Republican turned a Democrat turned independent.
Yeah, he went with wherever it was convenient to get bread.
Yeah. Well, also because of the I know he had changed the
term limits.
The term limits.
Yeah, he paid for that.
I don't know, but I don't know about that, but yeah.
So you vote?
Yeah, I vote. I have voted. Yes. But sometimes you know what the result's going to be. It's kind of
Throw
like,
your vote in there, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Throw
listen.
your vote in there.
I would say this. I think we as people don't really exercise a right that was once not granted to us.
And that's why you need to vote.
And so, I agree. We should vote. You know?
Do I believe the system is corrupt, complicated, for the sake of keeping those in power,
suppressing
and
a vote,
hurt other people? Absolutely,
yes, right.
Without question.
Right.
You know, but I'm willing to make the effort when the times come around to cast my ballot in favor of continuing to participate and hopefully get this in the direction that people ideally want it to be. You know what I'm saying?
I'm impressed.
Do I think that it's ultimately possible in my lifetime? Likely not.
Right. But I'm impressed at the fact that you vote. Like, I'm really impressed. You didn't strike me as someone who probably go out and get.
Well, because you really know me behind the scenes.
Right, true.
And you know that I'm like, these motherfuckers is gaming you. They getting over on you. But I still participate.
Okay.
Even in knowing that, because I know it's a game.
Right.
And it's a money game.
Right.
And I pay taxes. Right. So that's why I'm already paying.
Right.
So
you might as use it since, right. I get it.
Fam. Yeah. You told me I got free drinks when I came in the club.
Right.
I paid to get in the club.
I'm going to get
free drinks.
I want my free drinks. Right. I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all said it was an open buffet. Y'all said it was.
I want my chicken wings.
I want my wings.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I'm showing up.
I got you.
Where my plate at?
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So.
But see, I'm the type of person, I come in, you tell me it's free buffet, but I'm like, there's no quinoa there, right? There's no buckwheat pancakes, right? There's no gluten-free anything, so I'm not going to eat.
Well, I'm going to talk some shit. I'm gonna be like, yo, next time y'all say free buffet, I need some vegan shit in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna talk shit.
Yeah.
Now, Pras, what I do want to talk to you about is the most recent Lauryn, her defending her album, which I know you weren't involved in. Lauryn Hill.
Oh, okay. What happened?
In the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, Robert Glasper, who's a piano player, recently said that she didn't write this, she didn't do that, and which at the time Miseducation of Lauryn Hill came out, there were the producers who worked on the album that said they weren't properly credited, and there was a lawsuit that took place. You weren't involved in that, but because you didn't work on the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill,
but I was there.
You were there.
Yeah, I mean, I was there when she was recording the album.
And
at
what do
the
you
house at the studio? Like I was dropping by because remember this is. Right after the whole Fugees and then the Wyclef, so we were still kind of like in pocket to a certain extent. So I was just floating around.
And you had known Lauryn so long prior to her and Wyclef.
Yeah. So it was just love, and I was checking on my investment because I wanted to make sure like, is this next Fugees thing gonna happen? So I wanted to kind of like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was there, so I know what happened.
And did they use Did she use Booger Basement over?
No, she didn't.
She didn't use Booger Basement, which is your studio.
That was Jerry's studio.
That's Jerry's studio.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
He wired it, but didn't you help put the money together to actually?
Yeah. He did the thing.
Jerry did the actual wiring, putting the work in to get it done. But so you're there. Lauryn's working on the album, and you saw her actually writing and putting all the stuff together.
So this guy,
Robert Glasper.
I don't know who that is, but I've heard about the controversy. So he made a statement or comment about she don't do this, she don't do that, and it was about her being late or something happened on his part, and then he went into the fact that she didn't write her stuff. I can tell you 1,000%, she wrote every single lyric on the album. Now, with that being said, we talking about production.
Right, which I think was the lawsuit was more about production, vocal
Production,
arranging,
right.
all
That's a whole different separate matter. But as far as her lyrics, her melody, because you got certain people who believe, like, if I come up with a melody, everything is mine. Because you wouldn't be able to come up with a fruit line or a drum roll or something without my melody to inspire you to come up with it. So some people feel like, yo, this is my inception. This is my creation. If you becoming a part of it.
You were inspired by my
Right.
initial spark.
Now, in today's era, if we all in the studio and somebody's writing, if Ebro give me one bar, it could be 3 words. Yo, you should probably say smoke instead of gun or whatever, right? You technically a writer in this era.
Yep.
That's why when you look on people's CDs, you look at the credits, you see like 17 people as writers because one person added a word, one person added a bar, right? So the old school,
Nah, it wasn't like that.
my melody, what are you talking about, right? So that's how she felt. And the producer felt like, well, that might have been your melody, but I played it a certain way to give it that vibe too. So I'm technically creating off of your creation, so I should be. That's debatable.
And
You know what I'm saying,
they ended up winning the lawsuit against her at the time, and Sony had to pay.
Because I think the way she went about it, right? She basically felt like y'all would just work for hire, from what I understand, right?
And I think that's what she was articulating in that letter too.
Yeah, I think that's
And that's where I think she kind of like made a mistake at. It's because I don't think they were so much looking for publishing as much as more credit. So she could have alleviated all of that by just giving them credit. Sometimes, man, people just want to be acknowledged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Facts.
See what I'm saying too? Because
Super
that
facts.
credit might go.
Get you other jobs.
Of course.
It's definitely gonna get you out of the job.
So many doors
I was
for
about
them.
to say something stupid like it might get you more money than publishing. That's not true. Because if you got a smash record, you got publishing on it, that goes a long way too. But the credit, like to be able to say, I produce or co-produce Miseducation versus I'm some drum programmer, that's a whole different playing field. So I think it was just a matter of technicality. But I say all this to say, most definitely she wrote every single part of that album. I think that dude was just hating. I don't know who that dude was.
Robert Glasper. I think he was speaking to what you're talking about, the nuances of the difference of like melodies and who's doing what and not proper credit. I don't even know if he went as far as to say she didn't write everything. I think he went as far as to say she didn't do everything.
Okay. So I thought I heard she was saying she didn't write it because people start hitting me about it. Yo, I thought she wrote Miseducation.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did.
But still.
Now, what do you think is the thing with after Miseducation and Lauryn Hill, we never got another Lauryn Hill album? You knowing Lauryn better than obviously me or anybody in this room, and knowing her the longest, was it her disdain for the music industry, just the whole process, everything?
I think it's all of the above.
All of the above.
Ebro, you know too, bro.
Yeah, I don't know her like you though.
But you know,
Yes.
you know the vibe.
Y'all know what was going on.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, didn't she have an unplugged album?
She had an MTV Unplugged.
Yeah, but that
album.
wasn't he talking about studio album.
studio
Okay.
album.
And the
Okay.
Unplugged came really almost right after Miseducation. Right? It was a vibe and she went into it. But you know,
I mean,
listen,
she wanted to be a mom. She got married. Other things, personal things happened. I mean, it was a lot, right? You won the Grammys, and then the lawsuit, and then this, and then the personal. It was a lot at the time, but I just never in it. I never thought we would never see another Lauryn Hill album.
yeah, man. That's, listen, I'm not a professional when it comes to psychoanalysis, but if I was to give my opinion, man, it's tough, man. You know, when you're talking about certain artists, and we see them in this era, there's like one or two I can think of top of my head that's just like, they're on the other side, you know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like they're ultra sensitive with the industry and how the industry is. And we know, you know how the industry is.
Very much so.
It's a very...
People act like they care about you. They really don't. You just
no one
product
cares
on the
about
shelf.
anyone. I mean, yeah,
you
you just
product
about
on the
yourself.
show.
Right. So that, some people take that the wrong way. They're very sensitive to that, like, because they so loving. They so about spirituality. Because when they creating their music is from like this vibe. Like when we
In
were
the
doing,
realest
because you
place.
gotta remember when we were doing music, we were getting inspired by what was happening. Biggie, Pac, Wu-Tang. It was just like that vibe. You know what I'm saying? Too. It was for the love of the music and all of that, right? And so then you wake up one morning like, oh, people really don't give a fuck about me. Like, what? Well, sorry, I didn't mean to say that.
That's cool.
Yeah, people really don't care about me like that. And so I took it as, yo, it's life. How you just got to figure out how you're going to keep it moving. And some people just step back and like, well, I don't feel like giving myself now to the world because people don't appreciate it, right? And so it becomes this whole other thing. You know what I'm saying, too? It's so funny. Like, there's one individual, I don't want to say his name, but I see it and I'm like, man, I know what that is. This is 0.2 version of it. You know what I mean? It's just that vibe, man.
Would you ever, when the conversation of Fugees Reunion comes up, and I know it comes up a lot, and there's a lot of big offers that come in for touring and this and that, you raise your hand and say, yes, Fugees Reunion, I'm there. Just tell me where to be.
No.
No.
I don't want no part of that.
Wow.
When was the last time you guys were all together? For Dave Chappelle's, one of his block parties?
A little bit after that, we did this one thing we were supposed to do with Verizon at that time. We were supposed to deliver the reunion album.
Yo, listen, I saw the video. There's a video.
Yeah.
A full concert, Fugees video, fully produced, immaculate. It was like Zurich.
Done.
Yeah, in Europe.
Done.
Done.
Of them live, ripping.
20,000 people, you know.
Never been seen by the public before.
But you know, the thing is this, man. Life is short, and it's just kind of like, I done outgrew that, man, to be honest with you. I'm past that moment. It was a great moment.
Yeah.
I would never, ever not be grateful for that moment for both Wyclef and Lauryn. They're the reason why I'm here, you know? But to go back into, it's like going into a rabbit hole, man. It's kind of like.
Too much pain, too much frustration, too much.
It's everything, man. It's like, man, it's like this. You ever watch a movie, man? It's just, after you watch the movie, like, damn, man, this was a lot. Like, the plot, the mystery, like, this, that. It's like.
The emotional roller coaster,
Yeah.
too much.
It's too much, man. It's too much. And I'm a very, very pragmatic individual. Very, right? Now, granted, sometimes we compromise our principles. So me understanding what was happening at that time, you know, I understood like, man, I gotta get out of the hood. This is my ticket out of the hood. So I'm just gonna have to deal with this situation, right? But it was like, it was the most dysfunctional energy because one minute you in love, man, this shit feel good. And next minute, yo, you ready to just black out. You know what I'm saying to you? That shit's not good for you, for your emotional state, man. Because it's like you're being torn, man. It's like emotionally.
I mean, hearing you talk is another reason why some of the greatest bands break up. Because all players wanted to make something so great, they put their total body, spirit, and everything they had into something. But that same energy that you just put your whole self into is the same energy that causes it to have, as you said, that topsy-turvy, like, it's like the greatest and the worst relationship.
Yo, it's the worst.
But he described it well. You know when, the whole movie analogy, you physically exhaust you.
Exhausted,
to go through it,
man.
So I get it.
It's crazy. Like, I remember a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago, somebody come up to me, touring agency, whatever. All right, listen, stop all the bullshit. We got $90 million for you guys. Go on the road for about 15 months.
Nah, no way.
So listen.
It'll never finish.
Listen. So I said, because I'm vibing here and there with everybody. Like, hey, what's up, what's going on? You know, just real cool. Been to Shorty concert, you know what I'm saying? Checking the vibe out, you know?
You just called Lauryn Shorty concert?
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, you known her since she was 11, but you just literally was like, yo,
Yeah.
It slipped out. I meant to say Miss Lauryn Hill. My bad. Sorry. So I go to Miss Lauryn Hill concert. You know, I'm chilling, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we vibing. Everything's good. Cause you're trying to get a place of healing. Even though I personally didn't do anything, I was the guy in the middle, but that's neither here nor there. So I reach out to both of them. Yo, 90 mil, 15 months, let's go. What y'all want to do? They were like, I don't know.
You're like 90 million.
So I was like, all right, it's all good. You guys will never hear from me again pertaining to the Fugees. Like, I want nothing.
Because you were
of them.
insulted by the idea that $90 million couldn't get y'all back together again. Like, that insult.
Yo, let me say this to you.
The concept blew your mind.
Yo, one time my manager said to me, and he's one of them, right? He comes to me. I remember we had just sold about, at that time it was like 4-time platinum, right? The score. It's like, oh, we popping or whatever. And we go to this party. His wife is there, and she's getting like real touchy with me, right? And it made me feel awkward, like, yo, your husband is my manager. Like, what's up? He pulled me aside. He said, listen, man, you sell another 2-3 million records, I don't give a fuck what you do with my wife. Just bring in that money. That's some gangster shit. Now, what I'm saying to you is, whatever happened between us, I don't feel like it merit that kind of vibe, right? Because it's not like somebody kills someone loved one or someone kind of like there's something. Now, I get it. The one thing I'm not going to do is tell someone how they should feel emotionally based on if they felt betrayal.
And also,
right?
just so you know, Laura once told
Laura.
me, Laura Styles.
Oh, Lord.
Once told me that, like, as you just said, nobody died. Like, what's the big deal? Nobody got killed. And Laura said speaking to a relationship that she was in where she bugged out, she said, but he killed my heart.
Hey, yo, by the way,
and I was like, wow,
I swear to God, I heard, you know what I mean? Yo, I can't say I heard that a lot of times, but.
Well, women think like that.
No,
like,
but I heard it like
killed
2-3 times,
my
and it made
heart.
me stop like, damn, wow.
Wow.
But because it's a deep-rooted pain that sometimes you might have moved on, right? But it's still
Like
there.
Lauren,
and you
I
don't want to
think-
even revisit any of those feelings whatsoever.
I think that Lauren's original loss of innocence as a young girl, right, happened in that moment with y'all. And that's why going back to it reminds her of that transition in her life from innocent young girl who just loved hip hop and wanted to make music to now I'm a grown-up woman dealing with real life and it's happened to me and I never want to relive that transitional period where my heart got killed.
And we loved her, right? Because of how open and vulnerable she was, right? And how honest, and it made us feel. Like the Fugees, Lauryn Hill made me feel, and that's why I fell in love with the score and, blend our reality to Miseducation, right? But I understand because we loved that part of her. So how do you expect to tell somebody just move on because of money?
You know what? Listen, I hear you.
I got 20
We don't feel.
20 million, 2 shows.
I got
20 million, 2 shows.
No,
I put y'all back on the phone.
I really
20 million,
You
2
hear me?
shows.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Pras, 20 million, 2 shows.
I can't do it. I hear you. I really do.
He lying.
Yo, but now actually, I'm gonna be real with you.
2 shows.
Listen, I wouldn't do it. But listen, I keep it real with you. Now, obviously, I am speaking both from a place of luxury and arrogance, right? If I was broke, fucked up in the game, you wouldn't have to give me $20 million. You could just offer me $200,000. Where do I show up? You feel me? So all 3 of us is speaking from that kind of place. Like, he's good, she's good, I'm incredibly good. So, you see what I'm saying to you? And it's kind of like, do you understand what it was? You understand, but it's like, I felt like I was a CIA agent, man. Like, everything got to be plotted right. You got to say the right thing. You got to walk. You got to look a certain way. You got to
breathe wrong.
You got to think. You go to sleep like, damn, did I fucked up somewhere? Like, what? Yo, did I do this? That? Man, come on, man.
It was abusive.
I was like, God damn. Now, granted, we was making a lot of money. It was fun. What's more fun than doing something that you love? But that's where I drew the line. I was like, this is supposed to be fun. I didn't sign up to be a heart surgeon. I feel like I was doing heart surgery on the president of the United States. It was too much, Ebro. So at this point, you just got to say, look, Buddha bless you. It's all great. I understand the emotional, but that's when you got to put on your big girl's drawers on, your big man drawers on, and okay, time's supposed to heal, man. This is 20 years, man. How long it's gonna take?
Maybe
like we gotta be 90? Then be like, yo.
And I think because of what you said, because everybody's
walk
good.
out with your kid.
Like, I'm
Ooh,
good.
la, la,
I don't
la.
need the money. I don't need to go there anymore.
Yo, come on, man.
I sit 90. No, you really gonna be sitting 90 degrees.
Yeah. I'm gonna give my chair. Give my chair, yo.
I sit 90 degrees because I can't stand up.
Yo, somebody got a wheelchair on the stage. Yo, what the fuck, man? Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yo, but listen, you still getting the music out. What's this new EP?
Man, this vibes, man. Wait, you gotta check it out, Ebro. Cause you know what, Ebro?
What's on there? What when you say vibes, what's on there? What am I hearing on this?
Vibes.
What type of music though? Sonically, what do we talk to me about sonics? You know what we talk
It
about.
ain't no
What's the
boom bap.
sonics?
It's not boom bap. It's vibes.
Soul, melody.
Melody, content.
Who you working with?
You won't even know who I'm working with. But I'm gonna tell you who's on it. I got my man Zoe Dollars.
Okay.
Yeah, Haitian. Zoe.
I got my girl Steph LaCour. You don't know who she is.
I know
Steph
Steph
LaCour.
LaCour. Yeah,
We know
she's with
Steph
Khaled.
LaCour. She's from Miami.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who she is?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right. Young M.A.
Young and May, Brooklyn. We know that.
Yeah, it's just vibes. That's why vibes on this vibe.
And what made you want to put an album out?
This vibe, man? You're just creating vibes, man. It's not even anything. Just throw it out there as vibe. But Ebro, I want you to listen to it because I want your opinion.
I'm gonna give you an opinion.
No, when I tell you I know you, like I listen. You know I'll be traveling, whatever. I'm in LA, whatever,
Yeah,
doing my
know, yeah.
right. But I be hearing about you, B. I be hearing about you.
Look, you know the cloth I'm cut from. You know where I come from. So it's certain shit we don't tolerate, man.
I respect
it's certain
that.
work that gotta be put in.
I
Certain
res- yo,
things that
I
gotta
respect-
happen. Even. Listen, let's keep it 100. Even when Pras was in the Fugees, a lot of people be like, "Yo, Pras was the weakest one in the Fugees." Pras knew his role in the group was to come with a certain sound that brought Lauryn and Wyclef shine out.
See, I'm a true team player. Like that's why I respect Scottie Pippen of the world. Cause he wasn't trying to get Michael Jordan girls. He like, I'm gonna get my own set of girls. I'm gonna do my own thing. I ain't trying to be that. That's the most incredible thing.
But we had a certain place that when we create,
Right.
you had to play a certain part,
role,
or you
right.
wasn't allowed in the room.
Right. So now I'm just saying to you, like, that's why I want you to check it out. Cause I want you to call me to be like, yo, Pras, you want some BS or the vibe is whatever it
I'll
is.
tell you the strengths
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's what I'm
weaknesses for
saying.
sure.
Yeah. But it was just like
Something
vibe.
to do.
Yeah.
And now, are you using this music to get people into the cell phone?
No, it just so happened
Like,
to come.
I bought a cell phone, I get the album.
No, ain't got nothing to do with that. Ain't got nothing to do with that.
And who's the cell phone through? What is this?
It's just put like this.
You don't want to talk about the cell phone?
No, listen. What I'm creating is a platform. When I say for the culture, what I mean by this, on this device that's coming out, is going to pay the user when they use the phone. Real dollars, because it comes with a prepaid debit card. So when you're earning your money, you can transfer to the debit card to get your cash out, right? It also have a healthcare component to it too. You can order Uber nursing. Like I could be sitting here right now, order a nurse. She come here and do a checkup with me right now, and boom, right? Because a lot of people can't afford healthcare.
Uber nurse.
This
It's
is
not
me.
called Uber nurse.
It's not called.
But I get the
Give me an
concept.
example.
I was like, yo, Uber taking it up a notch. Yo, when they was bringing you food, picking you
dude
up.
right here, yo.
Yeah, they bringing
This
nurse
dude,
down.
yo.
Wait, what type of nurse we talking
This
about?
dude is just straight up like, yo, bumping the road, man, yo. No, but I'm just saying. So, it's this platform is curated. When I say for the culture, that's what I meant by that. Like giving back. A percentage of our platform is gonna go back to all the communities across the country, right? So that's when I say giving back to the culture is for the culture.
And this isn't available yet, so we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. It's not available yet. You know, I'll come back when it's, we're about to start the campaign.
What's the name of the new EP?
Wave Culture.
Wave Culture. His name is Pras. Thank you for the talk today, brother.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much. And 30 million, 2 shows.
No.
Give it up for Pras one time.
I'm just being real.